For logical and traceable reasons, the chances of war on the Korean peninsula have moved beyond possible, and now solidly into likely territory. The combined actions, decisions, and positions of Presidents George W. Bush, Obama, and Trump, along with North Korean dictators Kim Ilsung, Kim Jong-il and Kim Jongun, have perversely created a nowin situation in which war may now be unavoidable, a tragic and avoidable situation for which hundreds of thousands or millions of Americans, South Koreans, and Japanese may pay with their lives. With the adoption of a rational policy, however, American security can be assured, and war avoided. Recommended who swallows North Korea after it collapses. The seeds of today's crisis were planted in October 1994 when newly installed North Korean dictator Kim Jong-il signed the agreed framework with the Clinton administration. North Korea pledged to cease construction of nuclear reactors suspected of fueling a nuclear weapons program in exchange for the U.S. funding 2 light water reactors that could not be used to produce material for a nuclear bomb. Inspectors from the International Atomic Energy Agency (IAEA) were required to certify North Korea's implementation. Recommended U.S. Army's 5 most lethal weapons of war. Kim initially complied with the agreement, and in 1997 met with representatives of South Korea and the U.S., continuing what Secretary of State Madeleine Albright termed this historic process. Soon thereafter, however, evidence began to accumulate that Pyongyang was secretly establishing a weapons program and impeding IAEA inspectors. Even Clinton's patience started to run out, and in March 2000 he reported to Congress that he could not certify North Korea was not violating the agreed framework by secretly pursuing a weapons program. Recommended Russia's Armata tank versus America's M1 Abrams. Who wins? President Bush, with the encouragement of then Under-Secretary of State John Bolton, called out North Korea as a member of the axis of evil in his 2002 State of the Union address, adding to Kim's paranoia of U.S. attack. In part citing this declaration, North Korea officially withdrew from the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty (NPT) in January 2003 and kicked out IAEA inspectors. Free from the NPT and IAEA inspections, Kim Jong-il accelerated the development of his clandestine nuclear program. In October 2006, North Korea conducted the first of what has thus far been 6 underground nuclear tests. In March of 2011, President Obama made a crucial decision that today makes any diplomatic solution with the Kim regime almost impossible to attain. In an attempt to prevent a humanitarian catastrophe in Libya, Obama authorized the U.S. military to join with other nations in bombing regime forces. 7 months later, Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi was driven from power and was brutally and publicly murdered by frenzied crowds. More than any other single event, Gaddafi's death has convinced current North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un that negotiating away his nuclear weapons is a virtual death sentence. In December 2003, Bush had negotiated with Gaddafi to end and verifiably dismantle his nuclear weapons program. Colonel Gaddafi's commitment, once it is fulfilled, Bush boasted at the time, will make our country more safe and the world more peaceful. That commitment was fulfilled in 2009. 2 years later, however, when Obama was the president, and Gaddafi had no nuclear weapons to defend himself, he was powerless to stop the Allied air assault and lost his life. A powerful lesson was imprinted on the mind of Kim Jong-un: don't trust American diplomacy. Pages.